Forward. All right. Well, yeah, let's just talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, so basically, guys, if you haven't already for this week, we just posted what to expect for this next week, right? In the market, we posted at 3:36 p.m., so not that long ago. But take a quick look at it just so you know what's happening on Monday, right? We got NZ, CPI, JPI exports report, JPY trade balance, Euro German PPI, Euro trade balance. So we could say Monday is not going to be, nothing crazy is happening on Monday. We can see there's a good amount of news, nothing, super high impact. So this is good to be aware of. CPI is probably going to be the most, crucial in this day. See, we have AUD meeting, RBA meeting minutes. So this is following, So this is not going to have that much impact as well, right? We do have a GDP count change, unemployment rate. So this is going to be big. Unemployment rate is going to be a big one. So we know that because of current events that have happened. A lot of people are unemployed right now due to coronavirus. So this is going to be a big ass report, probably very high impact, or at least for the short term during this day when the release comes out. Then we also have retail sales. Again, everything's going to be down. So this is probably going to be across the board generally negative. Same with this one. US dollar existing home sales. Pretty much, everything's going to be down. But just keep an eye out for the real important ones like unemployment. Those are probably going to hit the hardest as we see them roll out with these new numbers, updated numbers. And then Wednesday, we got, more GBP news, a little bit of CPI, a little bit of Canadian news. And then US dollar crude oil inventories. Now, this is an interesting one. Depending on, this is going to be low, probably. I mean, it depends on how this comes out. Because if they're holding on to a large amount of reserve, this is going to impact oil negatively. If this is an adjusted number based on the new deal that they came out with, then we could see some positive reactions coming out of oil. So this is one to be aware of. Usually this would not really be on our radar, but again, because of all the news, this is probably going to have more of an impact than usual. So something to be aware of on Wednesday for oil. Let's take a look at Thursday. Again, a lot of PMI for AUD, JPY, Euro, GBP, right, and then US dollar as well. So there's going to be nothing really that crazy significant. Maybe new home sales are going to be down. Definitely. Obviously, we'll see that. But I'm not seeing anything that's going to really like drive the day in one direction. It's just general news, general news, moderate impact, nothing too crazy. And then we're going to wrap up on Friday with some, national CPI from JPY, retail sales from British pound, and we got some Euro German. Nothing really crazy on Friday. So I think the biggest day is probably going to be, where'd it go? Probably Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday. So just be aware of that. This is going to be a pretty normal trading week, I think, if we don't get any other external news, any other crazy numbers coming out. Typically, this should be a pretty good week. And, we have some good setups potentially lining up on these charts that we're about to get to. So, yeah, that's and again, just to cover for those of you that don't know what goes on in this channel throughout the week. So every Sunday, as you see today, we've posted all the news you can expect for the week. And then each day we'll do 2 posts, giving you updates as to what happened, the actual numbers, again, different, factors that may be affecting the market and so on. So this is a constantly updated channel. Every day we're going to do 2 updates, alongside this broad outlook for the week. So that's the Fundamental Analysis channel. Really good stuff. Definitely a huge tool for our members and community.
Okay. So again, for all you guys, welcome to the Sunday Market Blitz. We're just going to go over all the pairs that we're looking at this week. We like to start off just going over the fundamentals for the week. It's important to know what is coming up for sure and to stay updated on that, especially right now. And Nick will normally start with DXY. Start with DXY. For those that don't know what that is, it's just the value of the US dollar. We'll see what the technicals are for the DXY, for the daily dollar index, and yeah, if you want to kick it off with that, we can get started.
Yeah, I'm going to get right into it, guys. So again, like Angelo said, we're starting off on DXY. We want to get an overall look at where the dollar is going, see if it's breaking any levels, if it's going to remain in consolidation. Basically, we always do this because the U.S. dollar makes up for 80% of all trade, and if we can establish some sort of trend on the dollar, everything else will typically, relatively, follow suit, as most USD pairs will anyway. So I like to start here, every time, and it's actually forming pretty good structure. We do want this kind of consolidation between 101 and 98.85. We just want to see it bounce between here. This is a nice healthy level. This is an area where it's not a detriment to other economies. You know, if the dollar's too strong, it's bad, right? If the dollar's too weak, it's bad as well. So we're in a pretty good spot right now. You know, whichever way it goes, it could push up a little bit higher following this little 4-hour trend, right? This bullish trend, or it could kind of, you know, further consolidate from these lower highs, higher lows, and just kind of, you know, squeeze price in this area. So right now we're just following it. It's looking bullish, so we're going to kind of remain bullish on this 4-hour for the short term until we see anything else really change. You know, if price gets below these MAs, I'll start looking at, you know, maybe more of a bearish sentiment, especially on this 4-hour time frame. But for now, the 4-hour, right, clearly bullish, right? It broke structure here, key resistance, and now it's finding support at that level again. So we'll see if market open to how this reacts, but especially into, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, where this is going to go. I think it's going to push up a little more, right? Just follow this healthy trend. So with that said, you know, I'm a little bullish on US dollar for the 4-hour time frame. So, and all higher time frames are very bullish as well. Monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour, very, very bullish. So this is looking pretty good. Again, we want to see that healthy movement, you know, not too overvalued, not too undervalued, but somewhere right in the middle. And that's where we're going to see the best structure forming across, you know, the Forex market as far as USD pairs go. So let's keep going. Move on to AUD USD. This one's looking really good. And it's actually about to form a really good setup if we do see these confirmations play out in the next few hours, right? The next 24 hours, we should see something happen here. Either a pop up higher, right? Break of resistance or a break of support. But just to give you guys a little perspective, this move here, you know, this clear channel, whatever you want to call it, if there was another trend line here, this would be a channel. This is a 4-hour bullish trend. Whichever way you look at it, it's a 4-hour bullish trend, right? Now, with that in mind, you know, if we look at the daily, monthly, weekly, that's bearish. So you have to be aware that the overall time frames are very bearish. The overall sentiment's bearish on these higher time frames. But the 4-hour here, boom, bullish, which is fine because we want to trade the most recent of price action, which is why I'm actually bullish on this setup here. I think this is forming great structure. There's so much conviction in here, right? It just keeps pushing higher, good amount of volume. Nothing's really stopping it. These nice, healthy pushes and pullbacks of consolidation, right? Like, look at this. This is a perfect pullback, continuation higher, breaks resistance, tests again as support, pushes again higher, comes back. So this is a really good trend in my opinion. And I'm just going to look to play it, you know, one leg higher, right? So I want to see a break of this weekly. Excuse me. I want to see a break of this weekly. Come back for a retest, get in on some nice bullish setups like a bullish engulfing. Some exhaustion would be nice to see those, you know, wicks, you know, testing this weekly level. And then, you know, we're just going to get in, protect ourselves, this higher low, put our stop loss outside the higher low, target higher towards this 66,800 area. So there's a good amount of pips to be made here. You know, definitely over 200, at least 250, looking like if we get in at the right spot. So this is looking good right now. If this does fall out, I want to see this minor level of structure break, this blue line, right? And I want to see this trend line and this whole pattern kind of just fall out. I want to see this completely fail. And then, you know, the conservative trader would wait for this area to break, the 62, you know, area, 62,000. I want to see that break followed by a, you know, a retest and then get in on a lower high and then target lower towards, you know, key support, monthly levels, etc. So there's definitely a really good potential trade here, even if it does fall out. But right now the bias is definitely more long. So we'll be looking to get in on that. And again, we'll be posting these updates in the Discord, the analysis section. So just be aware, especially in the premium analysis section for these lower time frame setups, as this starts to play out. We'll then post the 1 hour and 30-minute charts in that channel. So let's keep moving. That's AUD USD. AJ is looking kind of similar, right? Here's that 4-hour bullish trend, while the monthly, weekly, and daily are bearish. So it's similar, very similar to AUD USD. And we're kind of faced with the two same scenarios here, right? Either we see a strong bounce from this lower time frame, resistance turn support. It was broken. We have a moving average crossover. If we do get a nice bullish engulfing here, this could be a good potential trade, long setup to this weekly resistance around the 70 area. So this could be a pretty good trade. Let's see how many pips it is. Almost 200, just over like 150. So like 150 is right here. It goes all the way up to like 170, depending where you enter. There's a lot of pips to be made on this trade, potentially. And again, I do think AUD has another leg higher. It's definitely looking that way. But again, the other scenario, if it breaks, if it falls out, price action, you know, kind of falls out of this area, We get another lower high formed after support was broken, right? Because then we'd have more confluence. We'd have that lower high. We'd have this now acting, this zone acting as resistance. The MAs would be pushing down as well. We would be below the 200 EMA, and it would just be a really, high confidence trade, and we'd have plenty of confirmations. So, again, whichever way this plays out, we're ready for it. So that goes along with AUD USD and AUD JPY, right? We're looking for that bounce or that break of support followed by a retest, in which case we'll be ready to capitalize on. So that's AJ. Let's keep moving. Euro USD is a 4-hour time frame. So this one's kind of been tricky. Overall time frames are very, very bearish. But right now it looks like it's kind of consolidating. The volume's kind of falling off a little bit. We did have this wedge which looked really nice, and we did see it as a continuation pattern. So it then proceeded to fall to the bottom of this kind of range here around 1080 250, right? So it's ranging between 1080 250 and 1090 600. So again, guys, this area, we need to see it break. We need some sort of conviction to say, okay, it's definitely getting out of this, it's definitely going in one direction. So right now it's not really showing us that. It's more so just playing within this range. So we either want to see a strong bounce from this current level, and if this little resistance level breaks here, this blue line, which is also structure, if it breaks, then we're just going to play it to the top of this range, right? I mean, that's a potential trade in itself. Sure, it's a little riskier, but I mean, it is, a potential trade setup that, we could see play out in the next 24 hours. But ideally, I would like to catch a bigger move to the downside. So I would love to see a nice, evening star here, a nice bullet, a bearish engulfing, something that's going to break this 1080 250 area, the support level, right? I want to see that break. And then potentially we get in on a quick retest, whether it be a wick or, again, just, a small pullback on a lower time frame. And then we would target lower, right, down to this monthly area. So I definitely am favoring the downside more so because all these higher time frames support that sentiment, right? Very bearish. And it's definitely the bigger move. And in my mind, I would feel more comfortable taking a short here rather than playing a long opportunity to the top of this range. So that's where my head's at. That's where my logic is with EU right now. And that's EU on a 4-hour. Just keep moving.
What were you short on EU?
I'm short on EU. I'm preferably short on EU, but it could bounce from this current level and target the top of this range. So right now, EU, we're waiting for EU to either tell us, hey, it's still, price action is still messing around in this range, or hey, price action is ready to break this range and push lower. So, I would like to see the push lower personally, because it's a bigger move again, and it supports the overall analysis, which is very, very bearish. All right, let's keep going. I got EJ for you guys, and then I just got gold after this. I dropped NCAD this week because it looks like crap, in my opinion, so I didn't cover NCAD. I will post other analyses throughout the week, as always, but NCAD is not looking good, in my opinion, so I'm staying away from it. But we do have EJ here. So, again, this is EJ on a daily, and we're on a daily because I think this pair is further away from a potential setup rather than closer. That's why I did so many 4-hour analyses this week. So here we are on EJ, the daily time frame. There's so much demand here, right? Price action, every time it comes here, it pushes price action up. Every time, you see all these wicks. So I'm kind of hesitant on this because every time price action gets to this level, we see a crap load of volume. So I either want to see this bounce again, pull back from another lower high, followed by another giant bearish engulfing, giant bearish setup. That would give me more confidence, or this momentum to just push lower, right? So, or I would love to see, price action push to here real quick, then pull back, then give me a setup, because now we have a new established low rather than this demand zone, which is just causing havoc here. And look at all this. You can't trade in this area. I need to see something that's definite, that's concrete, that's going to support some sort of high probability trade. Right now, we're just not seeing it on lower time frames. So that's why we're on the daily kind of waiting. This is going to be probably more of a later in the week kind of move, but we'll see. We'll see. So the monthly is ranging. Weekly, daily, 4-hour is bearish. So again, our bias is bearish for this pair. And I'd love to see it drop a little lower, give us a nice pullback, and then a continuation, and then we'll target the monthly, the 115 area, and we can get some good pips on this. EJ moves quite a bit, so almost 200 pips, over 150 pips away from the current level of price action, right? But if we did get it on a pullback, maybe run the 38.2 again, We're looking almost 300 pips. So definitely good potential trade in here if we do see those confirmations. What's up, Mahogany? How's it going? So, all right, let's keep going. I got gold left for you guys. So yeah, here's NCAD. I just looks like crap in my opinion. Absolute crap. So I'm moving over to gold. Forgetting NCAD right now. All right, so here's NCAD. Here's gold on the daily, but here's the 4-hour analysis. Let's go ahead and shift this. Okay, so we have a very, very healthy bullish trend on gold, as you guys have all seen. Been super, super bullish. And it's kind of just been forming this pretty good structure, just making these legs higher, leg higher, a little bit of consolidation, leg higher, a little bit of consolidation, and so on. But right now, we got over a key resistance level, this key monthly area, right around 1675. It did break that last week, and then it came back for a retest, which is where we are now. So from this current level, again, 2 scenarios. We always want to think of both sides of the market. So from here, we're either going to see a strong bounce from the 38.2 and the monthly, and just look to enter on a moving average cross, strong bullish setups, and then just target higher towards this monthly resistance zone, 1800 area, as well as this negative 27 fib level. So definitely a good target. 1800 is definitely a likely target for gold, especially with this much momentum that's been really moving through it. So we're looking to get up into that area if we do see the confirmation at the current zone. But if we do see price action fall off, again, we want to see it get below this monthly. This is kind of the key zone right now for current price action. If it did break, now we're in a zone between the 61.8 and monthly. For this to truly turn bearish, for me, in my mind, to be like, all right, this is now definitely more bearish than bullish, I want to see it get below the 61.8 around this 1640 area, and then followed by a retest with a lower high, and then you could target lower. But for right now, it's going to take a lot to shake this bullish trend. Again, all time frames are pretty much bullish, but it's going to take a lot to shake this trend. So we're definitely more long than anything else, but we do have both scenarios here just in case. So that's my analysis for gold. And just a quick recap, we covered DXY, we covered AUD USD, we covered AJ, we covered EU, covered EJ, which is the daily analysis. EJ, and then we just covered gold for you guys that like to trade gold on the 4-hour. So these are all posted, and any updates that do happen with them, we will post through the week.
So all you guys that just joined up, which pairs do you guys want to see out of the ones that Nick just went over? Is there any ones that you guys are looking at that you want to see again? Like Nick said, all the analysis will be posted, but if you have any specific questions that you guys want to go over, feel free to drop it in the chat. Oil, GU, GJ, WTI. Yeah, we could get a little analysis. So we're about to go over UJ, UCAD, GU. I'll go over GJ.
Oil is not looking good, guys.
You guys have any questions about the way, obviously Nick just did his breakdowns. You guys have any questions about what he's looking at in particular? Feel free to ask away. This session is for you guys. It's for you guys to come here and obviously benefit from, because we're all getting prepared for the week to get started. And, we do have, it starts up at 5, so we do have some time. We'll kind of do it.
Holy crap. I saw someone predict that it's going to go to about $8 a barrel for WTI, which is pretty insane because that's still a long way away. It's 40% from lower. But it's possible. It's possible. I mean, technicals line up. If this is a true push, we didn't see structure form, but we did see a 23.6 fib level hit, and then rejected with strong conviction to the downside. So for us to get to the negative 27.2, which is around $10, $10-11, is very likely from a technical standpoint anyway. So we could definitely see oil push much lower. I mean, they did cut supply, so if anything else comes out the week, it's not looking good for oil, though. We know that. Not looking good. So definitely don't change your bias as of yet. Super bearish, so remain bearish.
Yeah, super bearish on oil right now. Do you guys recommend analyzing on the 30-minute time frame? Do you trade lower time frames like the 1 hour and 30-minute? You want to maybe answer those?
What would I recommend for analyzing on the 30-minute? So I wouldn't drop to the 30-minute like before you've done your analysis on the higher time frames. So we always preach top down analysis. So we start on the monthly. Once we're satisfied on what we see on the monthly, we'll drop to the weekly and then the daily and so on. But we'll only analyze on the 30-minute for entries, again, after all those higher time frames have been analyzed. So, you want to have a strong idea of where price action is going on the larger time frames, what those larger moves are, and then we're zoning in on price action, on these lower time frames to get in at the best possible spot, trying to maximize our profit. So I wouldn't just hang around on the 30-minute, but I would say maybe after you see something happening on the 4-hour, like this, let's say over here, I'm gonna go to, was it AJ, I believe? No, it was AU. So let's say we're on the 4-hour, right? I see this break of structure happening. I see this bullish engulfing on the 4-hour. Now I'm dropping to the 1-hour, right? I see, another push, another hike higher on this 1-hour. And I see support here, a lot of exhaustion, another bullish engulfing. So because I see that bullish engulfing, I'm gonna drop to a 30-minute, right? And now I'm looking for entries. Now I'm gonna do my 30-minute analysis, right? So this is a key zone right in here. I'm looking for, some sort of bounce in here. I want to see a reaction from here. So if I see this, if I see price action give me a few more wicks and a nice bullish engulfing outside of this area up to here, let's say a candle closes right where this mouse is, I may enter on that now. That's the 30-minute analysis version.
Yeah, I think this also comes down to what is the plan that you guys are putting together. So going into the week, if you guys are looking at gold or say you guys are looking at NU, whatever pair, if you were analyzing structure over the course of the past 3 months, 1, 2, 3 months, and you found that you identified structure very clearly over and over and over again on the 4-hour, right? So the 4-hour time frame for NU, for example, is the time frame where you see structure multiple times. So that's going to be the time frame personally where you're going to put fibs on, where you're going to wait for price to come to those fib levels, 38.2, 61.8, and you're going to look for setups. So by setups, I mean at those fib levels or support and resistance levels, you're going to look for the multiple confirmations. So when you see a bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing, morning star, evening star, any bullish variation, what does that mean? That means there's a lower time frame break of structure going on. So you guys asking about the 30-minute and 1-hour. So that means that once you see that setup on that higher time frame, that's when I would cycle down to the lower time frame. Okay, there's some sort of setup going on. Go to the lower time frame. Where do you see the break? Where do you see the break of structure? I'm about to go over a really good example on mine on one pair where there's a very clear break of structure on the lower time frame from us just waiting on the higher time frame. Now you're on the lower time frame, say the daily, weekly, monthly are all bullish. You finally got that lower time frame break to be bullish. You're lining up all of the time frames to be going with the trend. That's what you want to be doing. So all the time frames are with the trend, and now you're looking to ride that lower time frame trend, and you can sit on that lower time frame and look for higher lows or look for lower highs until those points of structure are broken, right? So you know exactly where you're at. And that's what we're talking about with the top-down analysis is it's to make you comfortable, on the lower time frame. You can go down to the lower time frames, but the point is, like Nick has on his charts, he has the monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour, the biases on all of the time frames. He doesn't necessarily need to have that on there, but just a little tool to help him out, right?
Yeah, and especially for analysis, when you're posting it, it makes it so much easier.
Yes.
Psychologically, you don't have to second guess yourself and bounce around. Like, oh my God, what's the daily doing? What happened? It hasn't changed. Especially since we know here it's labeled. So.
Yeah, that's what we use, top-down analysis. So it just makes the most sense. If you guys are just constantly looking for 1-hour trends without knowing what goes on the higher time frames, and I found this happening to me, and you're identifying some very nice structure on the 1-hour, like some lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high. You're like, wow, this is a nice trend. Let me get in on the next 61.8, the next 38.2. See that bearish engulfing, bullish engulfing. Exactly what I was taught. And then all of a sudden it completely disrespects your analysis and it goes the complete opposite direction, 100 pips. And you're just like, whoa, what just happened? That's because the higher time frames were a different trend. The trends aren't lining up overall. overall the trend is different. Does that not mean you can't trade against the trend? Sure, when you become more skilled and you know really where you are, and you know the risk involved, like you lower the risk you're putting on for that position, then you can trade against the trend. And this is a whole other topic, is the risk involved with every trade, right? When the trends are lined up on every time frame, that's when you should be, you know, that's when Nick will risk his full, sometimes more, you know, his full amount that he's willing to risk on the trade. Because he knows overall the daily structure. And what is daily structure? That's just information like for the days, like the trend that's been going on for the week, the last 2 weeks. That's more powerful. That's bigger collection of the data as opposed to the 1 minute. You know, the 1 minute is all over the place for a reason, because that's just, you know, small decisions that are being made, you know, small adjustments in the market. You know, the daily candle closures are the big ones, the weekly candle closures. Those are really telling, and those are where you should be performing your candlestick analysis for the most part. It's not that the higher time frames are more trusted. There's just more consolidation of the data. There's more, those candles mean more.
Right. Exactly. They have more weight to them because it's more data packed into a certain time frame rather than a lower time frame.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share now, and we will get this going. So I'm gonna go over. We're gonna do USEF first. We'll go here, USEF, and clear some of this stuff off. You see my screen, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. So again, start up on the weekly, like Nick said. You know, start on the higher time frame so we feel comfortable. Right away, I see a few things. We're below this 200-day moving average. We're below these moving averages. All the moving averages tells us the average of price, you know, over the last so-and-so days or whatever. So we're below the average, which means overall there's more sellers than buyers at this point in time. Last week closed, you know, this spinning top, some indecision. So we're just within this range right here. But let's cycle down until we can see structure a little bit more clearly. On this daily time frame, we had, let's not focus on this right now. We had this large fall off. We broke below these lows that were being respected multiple times right here. So boom, made this new low. This is where I mark my fib. Lower high, lower low. So this is where my fib is. I see structure clearly on the daily. That's where I put my fib. Retraced all the way back up to this 100% level. Also this supply zone. Those are two confirmations. That's why we were taking trades out of here. Then we came down, we retested this weekly level support that was placed on there. For all y'all that have been in our sessions, we talk about these weekly levels a lot. So came down here, found support, formed a higher low, but that doesn't mean anything. We know we're within this downtrend. We know we're within this fib, and we know 100% isn't going to go all the way to zero. So hit, you know, 50%, came back up, retraced 88.6, hit 61.8. Now we're in a little bit of a retrace again. Until we break this level up here on this daily time frame, we are bearish. We're looking for sells, okay? The fact that we're looking for sells right now, we don't even necessarily need to go down to the 1 hour, to the 30 minute, to the whatever, because we don't care about that right now. We're trying to catch this huge move, right? But if we do go down, as we're doing some analysis, we go down to the 4 hour. Go down to the 4 hour time frame. You know, where are we? We're at the 78.6. So we're at a level of confirmation. You know, this is one confirmation that we look for. On the 4 hour now, we can bring in this trend line. You know, this is another confirmation that we look for. Boom, that thing's looking nice. You know what I'm saying? Trend line's there. Last week closed 4 hour engulfing, you know, at the trend line. Now we have multiple confirmations. 78.6, trend line, bearish engulfing. You know, we could bump down to the 30 minute. Look at the 30 minute. Clear transition, break of structure right here. Boom, made this higher low, you know, through these moving averages, broke below. That was that 4 hour engulfing. You know, if we want to take some entry opportunities here, we would just need our stops to be above this previous level because it could retrace all the way up here. You know, that's one idea. More like the safer idea on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour time frame, considering we did make this higher low and we are ranging right now, you know, 4 hour time frame, 4-hour support level that was formed right here, 200-day moving average. If we wait, if we break below here, wait for the retest, we're short. So again, we're bearish on USEF. You know, there's a couple opportunities. That's one way. If we went down to the 30-minute right now, based on all those confirmations, we could look for an entry, or we could sit on the 4-hour, ultimately wait for the 4-hour to finally
Go to
shift.
the 1 hour for a second too.
Yeah. So
there's a larger level in here as well. Actually, kind of where your blue line is, it goes to the left because it was structure. That whole area is decent area. So yeah, like he said, you could even potentially take, you know, not as conservative as a trade as, you know, his projected, you know, forecast is, but you know, there is a potential trade opportunity where current price action is now. You know,
yeah,
you do see those confirmations.
right, and that's just because we're looking for the confirmations overall on this 4-hour, on this daily. You know, we got those. You know, we have multiple confirmations right now. So what we'll do then, we'll finally go to the 30-minute. All of a sudden, things seem a little bit more, you know, a little more clear right now. You know, we were forming this trend on the 30-minute, higher highs, higher low, higher, retested this high. You know, another higher low, made a new high, higher low, and then we broke after making this new high. Simple transition, you know, even on the 30-minute, you know, bring on this trend line like this, you know, breaking below there. We don't even need to bring that on that. We don't need to confuse ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So simple transition right now, you know, this, if we were to fib on this 30-minute, you know, what is this? That's a 38.2 that we're retesting, you know, with the wicks right there. So yeah, you know, little trade idea on USEF to open the week. You know, let's see how it really does open up though. Again, stops would have to be definitely above here because we know if we break above this, what's the first thing we look for after transition? Lower high. You know, if we break this previous high, then we're out of this position. And with the overall time frame, it'll also be changing, you know what I mean, as we bump up. Because on the 4-hour, that would mean as we bump back up that this is a bullish engulfing, which is obviously not a bearish signal in this area. But this is looking pretty good. This is looking pretty good right now. 30-minute, I would ride this into this 4-hour level of structure. That's what we're ultimately looking that we need to break overall. And then based on maintaining around that level, you know, continue to short. So that is a little idea that I have for the week on USEF. Let's go over to NU. Again, always starting up on this weekly time frame. So NU last week closed a lot of sellers exhaustion off of our weekly support level. I know we got the fib on there now, but and then previous week bullish engulfing. Two things to show us that more buyers and sellers keep coming into the market right now. You know, more buyers and sellers came into the market, but overall, you know, we still are below these moving averages. But candlestick analysis, weekly time frame, daily time frame. What do we see? Had this level of resistance formed, broke above there. This kind of confirmed that for us. Low volume, but definitely not a doji. Confirmed that for us. Then retested. Last week closed, bullish engulfing. So I'm bullish all the way right now on this. I see bullish structure pretty clearly. You know, we're broke above our moving averages. Let's go down to the 4-hour and just see if we can see things a little bit more clearly. Or actually, again, daily time frame is where we just kind of identified our structure. We broke above this high, formed a new higher high, formed this higher low now, bullish engulfing, support level, 2 confirmations for us. You know, multiple confirmations. Let's go from the daily to the 1-hour. It's like a good time frame to just shift to. This is what I was talking about, that bullish engulfing on the daily. Look at it on the 1-hour. This was a lower low, pretty insignificant. Another lower low. This was a little bit more significant of a lower high here. This level broke like this and then maintained it throughout that day. So that was that bullish engulfing that formed. This is a transition, true transition. You know, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Now can we push to make this next high right now? First area I'll look for entry based on a retest, you know, would ideally be this 38.2, but say we went all the way down to the 15-minute. What's forming on the 15-minute right now? Rectangle. You know, a little bit of a rectangle forming right here. And rectangle is normally a continuation. So again, you know, when we see these pushes, you know, at the end of pushes, we want to look for patterns. And right here, we're seeing a rectangle without even testing the 38.2. We could just, you know, head higher. Ultimately, what we'd want to wait for is a break above the rectangle, retest. That's how you really play this pattern. And then long, you know, stops below this lower level down here. So that's what we're looking at. NU sort of lines up with USEF again, you know, short on the dollar. What did you go over with DXY again? Was it looking bearish, DXY?
On the 4 hour, it's looking more bullish than anything else, but it is ranging on a daily time frame.
Yeah, it's just ranging. So yeah, let's NU again, you know, looking to go long NU. This is definitely a level that needs to break this 4 hour. This is that daily. Again, back up to the daily. This is that daily level of resistance. You know, we're coming right into that again right now. So we're gonna monitor this. We'll see if we can break through there. But again, NU 1 hour time frame. Look at that. This is the setup we're looking for. You know, retest, continue long. Let's go to UJ. UJ. This is interesting. Let's go up to the weekly. Let's take this off. So weekly time frame with UJ. We formed some lows, formed this lower high. Ultimately, let's just zoom in a little bit. We're below these moving averages, below this moving average. 2 weeks ago, formed this like hammer candle. Last week formed, I guess you could say an evening star, but a lot of exhaustion there, so not really a true bearish, you know, variation or bearish setup. Let's go to the daily. Again, where do we see structure the clearest? Personally, the daily time frame. We were bullish. We had this bullish trend going for a minute, you know, forming these highs, very weak, but we were forming these highs, lows. Then we broke right here. This was that break. You know, I'll take this off. So that's why I fibbed. And again, retested our 100% level. Then we came down, retested, you know, didn't test any significant price reversal zone, but if you could see 200-day moving averages were retested here. So formed another lower high here, formed another lower high. Ultimately, now we're retesting this level again. You know, look at this. And let's just look real quick before we go down. I want to head to the 4 hour to see things a little bit more clearly. But last week formed bearish, but failed to engulf. So could we be ready to push? At the moment, you know, based on some candlestick analysis, it does not look like it. But let's go to the 4 hour because the 4 hour time frame is going to be very important here. 4 hour, if we look back, we were forming this bullish trend. You know, made this higher low, all the way up here, made this high. Then we were looking to make another higher low, found some support here, you know, failed to do anything, found some support here again. Then we made this little bit of a bounce, which was that lower high in the daily. And then now we're just retesting this level again. So a lot of, you know, indecision on UJ right here. Is this? Can you take a look here? A lot of indecision right now on UJ. Ultimately, what we really need to happen is 107,200 to break. 107, nice round number, you know, really safe. 107 on the dot, like 107 flat. You know, that would really break 4 hour structure. You know, that would send us lower for sure. But, you know, being more aggressive with it, you're playing off of these 200-day moving averages right now. You know, we're seeing some rejection. We're seeing some serious rejection right now. Had this bearish variation at the top, this evening star, bearish engulfing again. So personally, I'm in a position right now on UJ short. But if we want to play a little bit more safe, 4 hour, I'm looking for a break, retest, and then we'll short that and maintain that into this lower zone down here. Obviously, we got our weekly, you know, all the way down here. But based on these setups on the 4 hour, let's just look at the 30-minute and see what those look like, those bearish engulfings. So 30-minute, you know, we're not too worried about all that shit back there. 30-minute, higher high, higher low. Form this next higher low right here, higher high, retested this higher low, found support, you know, retested this high right here, and then ultimately we formed these right here. So this is an important little lesson for you guys is on this 4-hour, we had I said this bearish variation. But as I went down to the 30-minute, this didn't break anything significant. This didn't do anything for us. On the 30-minute time frame, there was no setups for us on there. That was just a 30-minute retracement. That was just 30-minute structure continuing. So that's nothing. Then this one, 4-hour engulfing down to the 30-minute. Our 4-hour evening star down to the 30-minute. This didn't do much for us either. This just formed that lower high. Ultimately, we needed this level to break, which was this final candle. And this is why I entered. This final bearish engulfing sent us through. Now let's look at that on the 30-minute. That broke some structure for us. Now we're retesting. Entries here. We could enter at this point. Stops would have to be where? Above this previous high right here, and then target our next level. So target all the way down to our weekly level of support, all the way down here, right? So that's just like a little lesson on, time frame correlation, going from the time frame. Sit on that 4-hour, look at the candles, as you see setups with confirmations, then go down to the 30-minute, and then you can look at structure and like break things down a little bit more clearly. So let's go GU. So UJ bearish, obviously right now I'm just short on the USD. Let's go to GU. GU is interesting. Weekly time frame. Last week we rejected the monthly resistance level. Had some buyer's exhaustion here. Bullish engulfing before that. Let's go to the daily. Daily time frame. Where a lot of these I'm placing my fib. Lower high to low. We hit this 61.8, I guess, in this area where we were not able, this was failed. And we actually recognized based on 4 bullish candles, this was a flag pattern on the 4-hour that had been forming. So basically all that means is that, again, another little like lesson is this daily bearish candle. This is not a variation of any kind. This is no variation, no bearish setup, at our 61.8 level. We want multiple confirmations. There's only one confirmation here, the 618. There's no other confirmation here. Because as we go down to the 4-hour, this was still trying to find that first level of support. Say this broke. Say this broke then. That would have been a nice break of structure to then short off of, right? But that didn't happen. We were just forming this flag. We played the flag. The flag broke above. Ultimately, now we were, waiting to hit this monthly level. We just did. So at this point, back up to this daily, we're looking for those multiple confirmations. We're back at this 618. We had these bearish, candles. Nothing that shows us a setup or anything really, at the moment. Ultimately, what I'm looking for is a break below here. A break below here will really be telling for us. If we want to be very aggressive, the 1-hour, even so the 1-hour, the 1-hour was an uptrend, higher high, higher low, high, form this higher low here. This is what I need to really break because we just climbed all the way up here, stayed above these moving averages. Damn, this person's bugging out there. Stayed above these moving averages and then retested this higher low right here. Holy shit. Retested this higher low right here and then formed these lower highs.
Marked up, bro.
Dude, I think somebody's like sanding the wall right here. Oh. All right.
It's all right. You can't hear it. You can't hear it. You're good.
All right. So basically we could either be very aggressive right now, play this off this high. Nick talks about when we're in a range, consolidation. We're in this range. We could play this off this high down to this low. I personally won't do this. But this is an idea, or we could wait for ultimately the break below there. That would send us bearish, But on this daily, we have been forming, bullish structure. We've been forming some bullish structure. I personally I'm not going to be bullish unless on this 1-hour we break above these resistance levels that just formed. Then I'll look for some sort of setup like this. Break above, retest, and then look into this trend line or look into this support level and try to long into this resistance zone. So that's GU right now, multiple situations, kind of just waiting on this one. I'm gonna move this up though because I am on the 1 hour. And then let's just finish up with, did I do UCAD? I think I went over everything.
Yeah, so just do a quick recap of what you went over.
I think I went over all these. Maybe, or UCAD I didn't go over actually. UCAD is the last one.
He goes, put on his signal in chat.
UCAD high at 13950. I don't know about that. I mean, this is what I'm looking at with UCAD. 2 weeks ago, bearish engulfing. Last week, all this exhaustion, failing. So more sellers than buyers are stepping in. Daily time frame. Daily time frame right here. Let's take off this trend line. Don't really see structure too clearly on the daily, but at the same time, we did test this level. We broke below a lot of low volume candles, and then we found a lot of volume. So, still something to prove, but I don't see things like that clearly on the daily. So I'm gonna hop down to the 4 hour. 4 hours where I was looking at structure on this the most.
Yeah, a little better.
This level broke. This level right here, boom, this support level. Then we retested that multiple times. So let's just zoom out a little bit and like clear things up for you guys. Let's make this a little bit smaller, and let's bring this down a little bit more. So basically, this is my idea on UCAD is we had this lower high, made this low, had this lower high form here. Now we just made a new low. This is our fib, low to, high to low. Now we're retesting 618. Look at all these again. Let's do some candlestick analysis. We had resistance. We had this bearish variation, and then we had another bearish variation. Let's bump down to the 30-minute. See if structure is breaking. 30-minute, where is structure?
Did it close like that? That's crazy.
I would say more seriously, right here. So structure has broken. Now we're forming a lower high. We're about to form a new low right now. So I'm going to just sit on this 30-minute. I'm going to sit on this 30-minute, wait for a pullback, wait for the next lower high, much like this, and just get in. Sniper entries, Forex League style. You know what I'm saying? Sniper entries, Forex League style. Wait for the next lower high. And yeah, so that's pretty much everything that I have for you guys. I know someone said GJ. I didn't mark that up. But obviously you can see this thing has been ranging like a motherfucker. And this is my idea on GJ for a minute.
That range is crazy. Right between like 135 and like 133.5.
Yeah, let's look at so GJ, obviously, let's move all the way up to the weekly. Structure on the weekly for me has been the clearest. This trend line for obviously bearish, right? Retested this low right here. Let's go to the daily. Daily fib, high to low, 38.2, nothing doing. Came up to 50%. Serious resistance level here. So this is where I'm going to be looking for my variation on this daily time frame. We haven't gotten it yet. So I don't even need to really be fucking around with the lower time frame, really quite yet. This 4 hour time frame, obviously 4 hour structure was bullish, made this high, higher low, made this high. Definitely a higher low right here. These pullbacks through the moving averages. And then ultimately we had like these other pullbacks up here, more minor for me, these up here. And then this is where I started to look for a position. When we broke this level, I have this marked. This was a pullback, found support, retested the highs, and then boom, fell below. So that's where I started to look for some entries. And, look at this 4 hour time frame now. Let's just do a little candlestick analysis again. All these this bearish engulfing right here is major. This bearish variation, let's go down to the 30-minute and see if those things have broken structure for us. See if it's very clear for us. 30-minute time frame, ultimately, bearish. Had this again. I'm not going all the way back to here. I already know this has been broken. You don't need to evaluate structure on the 30-minute for fucking 20 days. You know what I mean? We don't give a fuck about that. 30-minute structure, boom, simple, bearish, low, lower high, range, retest the low, lower high, retest the high. So this thing's just ranging, but it is bearish. It is respecting structure for us. But we don't want to sit here and get frustrated on this time frame. Get tricked out and be like, oh, it's a break right here. Like, no, it's not a break. Okay.
Nah.
So again, sitting on this 30-minute, I'm sure, I have my stops above here, but it is a range, so it could play some tricks on your mind. Like, definitely not the most comfortable position to be in. But again, sitting on the 4-hour, more importantly, really on this 4-hour time frame, or up on this daily time frame, like, we just need some sort of like bearish setup. Like, if we see another bearish push lower on this daily, then it's like, okay, we're moving off resistance level. We're falling through the moving averages. We're getting more confirmations. You know what I mean? That we should short, that we should be sellers.
Yep.
So yeah, again, GU or GJ, I am in a sell. I do see this as a transition, like on the 1 hour. But it is fucking around in this range, which is not cool. So yeah, either wait to break out of this range or short here and just fucking have your stops in a smart place above this level. Right.
Risk management's key, guys. That's really what it comes down to every time. Be smart about it. Don't try and, manipulate or stop your stop loss either to try and get a good risk reward. Just, what makes sense is what you should be following. If there's no trade there, then there's no trade there. Then you go find another one. But you should never force it.
That's everything that we have for you guys. We obviously just went over a lot. All the analysis is going to be posted in the Discord. This is where you go one. Yeah, this is where I would go for 1%.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good eye. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Good point, Simi.
Definitely a good pickup there. We'll post, all this analysis is posted in here. You guys can take a look at it. And we're about to put out like 5 more analysis on some other pairs too, that we're about to put out as well. And, signals are going to start up, as soon as we see some setups going out. Right now, Nick's account, Forex, or Nick Dark FX just hit 60K. Obviously we've been planning or putting in work on that for a long time. Nick's been putting in work on that. So yeah, we want to do a little sale. We're doing on the full course membership. Everything here is included. These live sessions during the week, we do some free ones, but they're for members really. These are meant one-on-ones are for members, webinars are for members. Obviously, our full course and everything, that is for members. That's what you're going to be getting access to. So real quick, it's normally $4.99, 10 spots for $2.99. There's only 8 left. Again, this is for Nick hitting 60K and Forex League, hitting 30K.
So big milestones this week, guys. It was actually, pretty nuts. They hit Forex League hit 30K, and then I hit 60K the next morning. So it was like it pretty much lined up almost exactly.
Pretty much. And we have things going in the right direction. We're focused on trading right now. We're focused on trying to help out our members. The new things that we have going on, obviously the trading plan, fundamental analysis, those are huge. The full course. If you guys have any questions on what's inside, feel free. Just hop over to the website. Watch this video. This video is going to tell you everything that's in the programs. So, you guys have questions as to what you're going to exactly get. And, full transparency, me and Nick do the one-on-ones. We're available. We do live our lives. So we try to, coordinate them as best as we can. But yeah, we're here for you guys. We're here for you. So if you guys are interested and want to get inside during this promotion, just reach out. And yeah, this was another Sunday Market Blitz. We thank you guys, all the guys that stayed on, guys and gals.
This was a good one. Most of you all stayed. And yeah, so good way to prepare for the week. Thank you guys for staying here. Japan just had an earthquake, so wow, that's what the hell?
Damn, that's crazy.
So that you may see some JPY gapping in like 4 minutes here. So just be aware of JPY pairs. If there was a significant earthquake, just be aware of that. So Sunday's basically shot for trading JPY. Just be aware of that, okay? But anyway, 6.1. Yeah, it's bad. All right, so don't trade JPY. That's the better advice for you guys this Sunday. So yeah, hopefully we see some of you guys in the community again. Take advantage of this and another successful Sunday Market Blitz.
And we're thinking about, for the person that asked about the $1 per promo, we're thinking about doing that again. You know, it's not going to be anytime soon, but we are thinking about doing that again. So this is recorded, going to be posted on YouTube. We'll catch you guys later. And yeah, thanks again.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Peace out.